3 points, 2 from 2. Amazing start. Welcome back to Filter Coffee Football, guys. We're here to talk about, of course, Arsenal versus Burnley. 1-0 result. That's, like we said, 2 from 2. Next up, Spurs. Let's see how that goes. But before we get started, first off, I actually just wanted to. This little thing just
Oh,
came
nice.
in
Beautiful.
the mail for me. Yeah. So I'm going to put this up on the wall pretty soon. And yeah, please like, share,
Yeah.
subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram. And yes, comment down in the comment section below what you thought about today's result. But yeah, let's get started. Karthik, Arsenal versus Burnley 1-0. Talk about it.
It's all about 3 points, man. It's all about those 3 points. And first off, what a sweet shot for that goal. What a sweet left footed curler. I mean, the goalkeeper had no chance. And I did not really imagine we would score from that position, especially with fading memories of the last free kick goal that we've had.
I mean,
So, and as soon as that went in and the crowd was delirious, we were all up in air enjoying it. And you had to see Burnley to actually realize that they did not feel that we would score from that free kick. I mean, that reaction was more surprising. I was never thinking about us scoring from a free kick. They were never thinking about us scoring from a free kick. That was more magical. That was more comical, to be very honest. I like that.
yeah, and it was like one of those harder to hit free kicks, right? Because it's kind of in the middle, so it was a little bit towards the other side. So Aubameyang, not his side of the free kick,
Yep,
and Odegaard even hit it on the opposite. Like you'd expect typically the free kick hitter to go for the near post, but he actually went for the far post. So I mean, it was beautifully taken, just no chance whatsoever. And in all honesty, it came while we were still in the ascendancy. We created, I mean, the first half was absolutely amazing. I feel we should have at least been up 2-0 up by the end of the
true
first
that.
half, given the chances that we were creating. And I know you have different opinions of this, but I was actually quite satisfied with how Pepe played this game. So I'm not happy that Emil Smith Rowe is still kind of struggling with some fitness because when he went off, we definitely lost a lot of that creativity on the pitch. We didn't create a whole bunch. We kind of were almost on the verge of letting Burnley back into the game. And at 1-0, Arsenal are not, in my opinion, good enough to be able to hold on for like 30 minutes of a game to a 1-0 lead. Our defense is just not that
Definitely.
good. Our midfield control is just not that good. But Party finally first real amount of game time in this game. What did you think about his performance?
Uh, Thomas was nice, did some good movements, and the other thing that I didn't like was again he took that shot where he should have passed. I mean, come on, please. Whenever you think of passing the ball, you shoot it, but you should do the exact opposite. Whenever you think of shooting the ball, just pass it, Thomas. And Oba, surprisingly, he passed the ball like way too many times today. I thought he might take a shot or two from certain vantage points where he had the ball, but he decided to pass it, which I thought was not a striker worthy quality, wherein you have to take that shot. It's a side like Burnley who are always going to sit deep, not give you enough chances, even though you might have all your creative talent at your disposal. So, as a striker, take those shots. Probably one might get in.
Yeah, I mean, again, like against a keeper like Nick Pope, you want your best finisher to actually take some shots on the pitch.
True.
I was kind of underwhelmed with Aubameyang's performance. He wasn't more than anything, he was just absent. It wasn't a bad performance, but he just wasn't involved in most of the key moments on the pitch, which isn't great because I just felt like he was on a different wavelength compared to the attacking trio behind him, which is not good because I mean, he, like you said, he is the finisher of the team. Saka is amazing, Emil Smith Rowe is amazing, Odegaard is amazing, but when a ball falls in the box, I don't want either of them to be on the receiving end. I want Aubameyang to be on the receiving end because he has a much better chance of scoring those opportunities.
Which we
And
did notice, right? I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
where they couldn't finish their chances, they had an additional first touch or second touch, and there was a meek shot at the end. But Had that been Oba, I mean, I'm sure he would have like put it past without even thinking twice.
Yeah, I mean, especially that Emil Smith Rowe opportunity in the first half, the one that Pepe laid off to him. I felt that was really a great range for Oba to kind of be in and get a shot off, but he was just far away from the action. Defensively, so close. Almost conceding a penalty. But Ramsdale, another clean sheet. What do you think about that now?
Ah, before that, I mean, I have to point out Ben White. That was not a pass. That was not a heavy pass. It was
Hmm.
way too light. And again, we were lucky, very, very lucky to have VAR assist us in overturning the decision, which again, I never thought would happen. Being an Arsenal supporter, you've always seen decisions go against you. And as soon as the referee points to the penalty spot, you know it's a penalty. You could like have 10 teams of VAR sitting on it, but they're still going to give that. This was surprising where they actually called him to the screen to like check it again. And I think that makes sense, especially when it's a tight game and it's
Hmm.
a penalty call. You probably want the referee to go and see the replays because that's what technology is all about,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you have that service available, get the best person on the pitch to judge that decision. If
Yeah.
he's given a call, he might do a rethink, could probably do a rethink, which he did. And it was the referee who ultimately overturned it, right?
Yep.
It wasn't
Yep.
the
No, no, yeah.
VAR that overturned it.
It was
So,
definitely the referee decision, and I mean, I was sold on the fact that it was going to be a penalty because it was pretty close. Ramsdale did. I mean, he didn't really get the player. He like if
he
you
got the
watch
ball.
it in super slow motion, you see that he actually got the ball and then just pulled out, and
Right.
there was almost no contact. But I would not have been surprised if VAR would have given that. It was one of those decisions where VAR is like, okay, because it's supposed to be there for clear and obvious errors, and
Right.
I wouldn't have I couldn't consciously say that it was a wrong decision if VAR wouldn't have overturned it. That being said, as an Arsenal fan, I was so happy that we finally get these kind of decisions going our way.
Correct.
Because, I mean, you do need that luck sometimes. And we were really good. And we should have finished our chances, but we didn't. But thankfully, we were lucky. And you were right about that Ben White decision. I mean, I think he had a fabulous game. Couple of mistakes, like he wasn't able to handle Chris Wood quite as well. And of course, that back pass that was absolutely shambolic. But outside of that, he had an amazing game distribution wise. He kept the ball very calm on the ball, otherwise, good forward progression. Um, solid performance. I mean, I'm really happy. The only concern for me, not necessarily even a concern, is that Saka probably needs to get a little bit more in form. He's still really good. He won the free kick that we scored from, but still having some issues in the final third, not getting the final balls in. So hopefully he can kind of keep working on that as the season goes along and find that form again, and obviously get Emil Smith Rowe's fitness back in line as well. As for Burnley, what did you have to say about Burnley's performance?
Was that even a performance? I
Yeah.
mean, they did try to play some amount of football in between, but ultimately it just went back to route one.
Hmm.
And you have, and they realize that they are not great with the ball. Like on the ground, they are not great with the ball. They were losing the ball when it was played on the ground. They were trying to like put it out to their wide men and just put all those crosses in. Gabriel and Ben White did deal with it quite comfortably. Ramsdale also took that corner. I mean, he saved the corner, he held the ball compared to a Leno who would most of the time punch the ball away. This was good to see. I think Burnley maybe just thought they would rough us up again, which they did. I'm really happy that we turned out unscathed because the amount of tackles that were flying in, I was thinking there is one tackle away from a potential injury to one of our attackers, and that leaves us thin again, right?
Yeah, and I think that was part of the decision why he took Thomas Partey off because you don't want.
Thomas actually signaled. Thomas
Yeah,
actually
yeah, I think
signaled.
he figured that he was kind of hitting that limit, and then you don't want to risk again, especially
True.
against Burnley. You don't want to risk a player who's already injury prone. So good changes there. Even substitutions wise, I thought our substitutions were really spot on. You took off players that were either getting too much into fatigue or were just not having enough impact on the game, and then you got in more defensive solidity in there. Lokonga again looks absolutely amazing on the ball. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the season he becomes a first team fixture
I
for
think they
us.
had a dynamic. They really had a
Yeah.
dynamic. Lokonga and Maitland-Niles had a dynamic where they understood each other, and maybe it's a solid B plan for our team when
Yep.
you don't have your preferred Partey Xhaka partnership most of the time. Then this is a solid B plan, and Maitland-Niles also seems to grow into the position, even though there were all those rumblings, his Instagram story and things like that,
And I
right?
think yeah, I think he's a fabulous player. He just needs some game time. Hopefully this season he will get that game time and he can stay at Arsenal. He's an excellent rotation option. I don't see him starting ahead of the players that we have, but he's an excellent rotation option and fabulous utility player. Can play in multiple positions. So it's always good to have someone like that on the team. But yeah, I mean, fabulous result all around. Any last thoughts before we call it?
Last thoughts, Nuno Tavares. He was good. He was good for the amount of time he is in. And I mean, I figured out that he's built like a tank.
Yeah.
You don't really notice, but he is built like a tank. For a team like Burnley, you want a player like Tavares playing who's not going to take as many tackles or as many challenges in a difficult way, right? He'll still hold off of himself. That's what I really liked. Tierney was probably going down a bit too much today. Maybe he was also worried about getting injured, and they did target him specifically for some time. But you need certain types of players for certain types of games, and today this was a display where I would have been happy if Tavares played the entire 90 as well. I mean, let's save Tierney for a better game, right?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
No, absolutely. I mean, for once, Arsenal look like they have some depth in the squad as well, and players really clicking in. Fabulous result for Arsenal. Next up, Tottenham. Let's get geared up for that, and I'm so pumped up for this. Especially, I'm curious to see whether Chelsea thump Tottenham or not. That'll be a fabulous match. But yeah,
I want to see who plays on goal. Who plays on goal next
I
week?
know.
Because of a certain war of words, certain news flying out on
No, I'm pretty
Twitter
sure
right
Ramsey
now.
is going to start at this point. It doesn't make sense to throw Leno into a big match like that without having given him previous game time. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm pretty sure Ramsey is going to start at this point. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't, honestly. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And that was two very happy Arsenal fans talking about Arsenal
Three
versus
points.
Burnley. And yeah, again, like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and please go ahead and put your comments down in the comment section as well. Try to bring us down if you can. And yeah, have a great day, guys. See ya.
Bye bye. 3 points.